Thoughtless casual gaming. Thoughtless casual gaming. Thoughtless casual gaming. Thoughtless casual gaming.
Hello, you're listening to Thoughtless Casual Gaming with Brett and Jace. We are a Geelong-based gaming podcast where we play games badly and then talk shit about them. And we're back. Mo.
We are. Yeah, Mo.
Today we are going to talk about a couple of events that are coming up. There's a number of things on the horizon, some of which we feel merit some discussion.
It is an eventathon. No, there's definitely some that don't. But like, I feel like there's a lot of stuff going on. This is the veritable pentathlon of things that people could do.
It is a plethora, and some of which we're doing. So
a Trevor Trove.
A Trevor Trove. God, I've got to track down that ad. I need to watch it again.
Surely it's kicking out on YouTube
for like
somehow.
Pizza Pockets.
Yeah, Pizza Pockets.
It got to be.
Yeah, it was.
With Spinal Tap. First thing we want to talk about is our thing. So, I mean, that's totally self-centered of us.
On brand.
On brand. It is our podcast. You don't like it? Fuck off. Turn the thing off. Go listen to something that's actually important.
They've already done that.
I know. We're 3 minutes on. We're not even a minute in. Not even 2 minutes in, and people have switched off.
No one's lasted this long.
What does Spotify count the listening to? Is it like 30 seconds and then it counts?
I haven't checked.
I don't know.
That is.
I think that's with songs. I don't know what it means with podcasts. But we are going to talk about the current painting event that we have on. So it's currently live on Facebook and Discord. And it is called, in typical TCG fashion, Paint a Story. Because it's a painting event and we stick paint in the title because we're very original.
We are so imaginative. We are, I mean, in our defense, it is us two plebs kicking around, right? There are entire bloody corporate rooms full of executives coming up with names of shit, and they do worse than us. So I feel like in the grand scheme of things, I'll take it.
Yep. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah. Do you know what it is from the title? Probably not. With a little bit of context, can you work it out? Maybe.
Yeah, this is probably our most confusing title that we've had. We've had Paint a Thing, we've had Paint It Pink, we've had Paint It Brown. We had 2 Paint It Pinks.
Yeah.
Finish a Thing. We've done a few of these.
It's not our first rodeo, and we will still manage somehow to screw it up.
Yes. And Clinton will still be disqualified no matter what he does.
Of course he will. We should start putting that into the terms and conditions. We should write terms and conditions so we can put that in the terms and conditions.
No Clinton's club.
Clinton is disqualified. It is a little bit less obvious from the title, but let us illuminate you if you didn't read the description in the event, which, by all accounts, you probably haven't.
You probably don't even know we're doing it.
No. Funny enough, I did have a conversation with a certain Patreon of ours on Tuesday night who said, the last paint event was really good, blah, 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 blah. And next time you do one, I'll have to actually remember to both enter it and finish my entry. He goes, when's the next one? I went, it's on now. It's current. It's live.
It's now.
Yeah, it's already happening. Anyway, so clearly we are the best at advertising.
Of course.
But paint a story, and the idea from this is it's not all about the painting, and it's never been about just the painting. Like, none of these have been paint competitions by any stretch of the imagination, but what I've really enjoyed from some of the entries is the context and the backstory and just the little hints of who these characters or models or things are when people have submitted them. And so we just decided to lean all the way into that. So realistically, it's the same as all of the other painting events that we have done, in that you start with something that is not painted, and then you paint it, and then you post a picture of the thing you've painted. But what we also want, because we're needy and demanding, is a story about the thing you have painted, the character. That's as much of a guideline as we're asking for. So what that means, you decide.
Yeah, I've already had people come to me and say, "Oh, I'm not that good at creative writing." I'm like, I don't care. We're not expecting novels here. You can just write a little story about what it is, what it means to you, why you chose it. Just give us an insight into this model, whether it's the model itself or whether it's your decision about this model.
Why is it interesting? And like, again, there's no word count. We're not even going to spell check these suckers. I don't care whether it's a story, a couple of lines on who it is or why you've painted it, whether it's a bloody paragraph, whether it's a limerick or a haiku. I do not give a shit.
Ooh. Limericks.
Yes.
Haikus.
In fact, I actually think we should give extra points for limericks.
Yes. Once was man from Nantucket.
So there is no requirement. This is not, again, this is just about make us interested about this piece. Make us want to talk about it more. Make us want to, look at it more. That's it. I'm just fascinated to see what people come up with.
You're excited, or at least you're vaguely interested enough to be painting this thing.
You picked
Explain
the thing.
Why. Yeah. And look, it's not hard.
It also doesn't matter whether it's something that is brand new. Like, you don't have to pick up something and go, "Oh, I haven't painted this, so I have to." If you're currently painting a Blood Bowl team, every one of those players has probably maybe played Blood Bowl before. They got to that team somehow. They're in that team for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
They played that game, or they're going to play a game. That is a story. That's a scenario. That's something. If you've ever read the Blood Bowl books, they're very lighthearted, good fun. But literally every single model has a reason for being where they are at this point in time that you're painting them. And I want to know why, because I feel like so many people have these ideas about that, and that's the reason they get excited to paint something.
Mm-hmm.
And so often we just see a picture and we don't see why you're excited about it.
It's as simple as that. So this is on now.
Mm-hmm.
Now.
Right now.
Now.
Currently.
Now. Whether you're a Patreon or not, it's still on now. Whether you know about it or not, it's still on now. And it will go until the end of March.
Mm-hmm.
That's the date we've given, isn't it?
It is. It is a shit ton of time. Between now and end of March 2025, for those listening for 30 years in the future, I, for one, welcome our robot overlords. And
I was thinking the same line.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's heaps of time. Find something, paint a thing, tell us about it. Tell us why it's cool and why it's doing what it's doing, or where it is and how it got there. And in any form that amuses you, it will probably amuse us more.
Yep, we're easily amused, if nothing else. So chuck a picture in either Facebook or Discord. I think we have had a couple of Facebook entries, which is great because last time they were all in Discord. Speaking of Discord, I'm going through and deleting out any comments that aren't actually, related to the actual picture, and it should make it a bit easier for us to scroll back. rather than dealing with a lot of GIFs and smart ass comments that a lot of our Discord
Dylan,
do. Most of it is encouraged by us in the first place.
it's
So
glorious.
there's nothing to complain about.
How many of my comments have you had to delete over the last however long? Anyway.
So chuck a picture of it up in Facebook or Discord, paint it, chuck another picture up of it painted with your little story of whatever you want to give us a story about.
Mm-hmm.
And we will, judge is a stupid word. We will comment at the end and give some prizes away
For extra things that amuse us. Like,
exactly.
It is literally just self-indulgence. We are rewarding. Think of it as positive reinforcement. If you amuse us, we reward you. Like, it's just a thing. There's a really easy target audience to pick here. Like, if you want to game the system, this is not hard.
Again, it's not based. Prizes are not based on painting ability, because
there may have to be a prize for the best man from Nantucket, though.
Yes, but I mean, I'm sure Jace hasn't had this issue, but I have definitely entered painting competitions where I've been given a score and felt very discouraged to paint ever again because of whatever score I was given based on the judgments made by whoever was judging. So there's never a score. We will heap praise on you, even if you've taken your model and dunked it in Nuln Oil, and that's your entry.
That was a politer way to finish it than I was thinking, but good for you.
You won't win if you do that, but we'll talk about
Unless there's a really good story to go with it.
Or a limerick.
Yeah.
So, as an example, what are you doing? You've put forward something, haven't you?
I have, and I can't decide if it's my final one or if I want to do something else, if I'm honest.
Of course.
So I may withdraw and reapply at some stage. But right now, and the reason I'm feeling a little bit iffy about it is it is one of the new Chaos Dwarf flame chemistry kind of fire throwy dudes. I can't remember what they're called. That's them.
I think. Yep.
Yeah. It's a little Chaos Dwarf. He's blowing a big old thing of fire. I had this whole idea around why he's blowing fire that had nothing to do with a very, hot chili. It was one of those. But no, I came up with a slightly better idea. However, really, why I'm painting him is because the company that made him, Ugly, is currently running a Patreon painting competition where you have to paint one of the Chaos Dwarves. And double dipping feels like cheating.
I mean, double dipping is perfectly acceptable and encouraged.
When you're not me.
Well, I mean, I'm double dipping in a way, so.
Yeah. So that was the reason I was originally painting him, and I went, yeah, no, I can work with this. So, and he's done. So I've also got time if I want to be a little bit more imaginative.
Plenty of time. Over a month. Well over a month.
Yeah.
You do you. You do you, Jason. Don't listen to what everybody else says about you.
I never have.
Excellent.
Could you imagine my confidence if I did? Fuck.
Oh my God, we wouldn't be doing this podcast anymore, would we? Wouldn't be putting ourselves out there anymore if we listened to what people said about us. Speaking of which, best way to get us into other people's ears is to like us, follow us on Spotify, leave a comment.
What a segue! That was possibly the most professional thing we have ever done. Here, let me stop and ruin that.
I will say yes, absolutely. I've been listening to a few podcasts, and a lot of podcasts I come across because it suggests it to me. And usually they're so much better than this one. 99 times out of 100, they're so much better than this one. But if you want to inflict this sort of pain on somebody else, please, leave a comment and hit us on the follow on Spotify or whatever you're listening to. And that should if what they tell me about algorithms is actually correct. Help us out. And now back to your normal listening.
Now a word from our sponsors. Yeah.
So, Chaos Dwarf, Agni, cool.
Yeah, little flame blowy guy. There's a thought, but yeah.
Yeah. I am also double dipping in a way because I needed to paint up a Blood Bowl team. And so that is my entry. Speaking of which, I decided at the start of the year that I wanted to do a bit of hobby every day if I could. So far, so good. And last year I painted 24 models for the whole year. We are not even at the end of Feb, and I've done 23. So well on target. Really happy about that. I am painting up the Agni goblins.
The horror ones, right?
The horror ones, because they are all cute and cuddly, and like they've got so much character. Everyone is based off a horror type film, almost. Some of them.
That one guy kicking, I can't work out, but anyway.
Yeah, I've gone in, I've done Google searches on him, and apparently no, he was just thrown in. Definitely thrown in. And I'm like, well, you're not getting painted then. But I have a tournament coming up where I needed a team, and I've decided to take goblins. So I needed 11 goblins, 9 goblins and 2 trolls painted. And I finished off the last one of those last night. I have printed out another 6 goblins, which, yes, I did the maths just before. And I'm like, well, that's 17 on the team, but sure, why not? Because I like the models. So I've got 6 other goblins that I'm going to be finishing off while I've still got all of the paints and all of the processes in my head. So of those 6, 2 of them are pretty much done and just need transfers. So there's another 4 to go, basically. So that's my submission. These Goblin, Agni, horror, Blood Bowl characters. And I'm really happy with the results, and I will, once I've finished everyone, I will stick a nice photo in there and give a little story about them.
Yeah, they are glorious models. They're so much fun because there is some individuality on all of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Every one of them looks completely different and unique, apart from the fact that there are 2 Freddy Kruegers.
Yes, there is. There's the alternate one. Yeah.
Yeah. So I did.
Depends whether you like the little swish off his foot or not.
Stuff the swish. He's just standing with his claw out. It's much better. That is paint a story.
It is. March. Paint a thing. Write a story. Post it.
Like we
that easy.
Thoroughly recommend that you jump on board, if not for the mere fact that you could win a prize by doing very little effort or just by tickling our fancies. If not for that, just for the sake of, this is a little bit of motivation towards getting some of that painting done.
Yeah, this actually doesn't need to be about us at all. You could just paint a thing and post it in the thing, and then you'd be involved and you'd have a thing painted. Yeah. This could be completely selfish. You selfish human.
Yeah, be one of us. Anyway, other events. Next one I wanted to talk about, leading on from Painter's story, is Goldcrush. Now, Goldcrush is I believe it's the first big 11s tournament in Victoria for the year.
Gotta be close. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. It is in Ballarat and it is on next Sunday.
You sure?
Yes, I am sure now. I was corrected in this, and God almighty, that was an interesting...
That wasn't even a Blood Bowl Discord.
No,
channel. That was a separate, that was actually more luck than anything else.
It was. I mean, when did tickets go on sale? Start of Jan, I think.
Yeah.
And I was, same day, first day they went on sale. I'm like, all right, I'm going to this. bought my ticket. I was like the 5th ticket sold or something. I have thought it was a Saturday ever since then. But no, apparently not. It's Sunday, which is just as well that I'd already booked the Sunday off work. I would have found out tomorrow when I messaged James and go, hey, what's the details for you picking me up on Saturday? And he goes, well, I'm not picking you up on Saturday. So I would have found out. I wouldn't have rocked up there. But Goldcrush, 11s, Blood Bowl, which is already hurting my brain.
Mm-hmm.
I played half a game practice game against Ant on Tuesday, and it was great fun, and it's always fun playing with Ant. Also fun playing Blood Bowl with Ant. But that was, I think 4 games of that's going to crush me by the end of the day.
With gold?
Probably. That well done. I didn't even see that one coming.
So, because this is new team, and it's a team that has rules.
Yeah, so I need to get my head around a couple of the rules. The half that I played with Ant on Tuesday was amazingly instructive for me and helpful, and I tested out I pretty much put all the not star players, but secret weapons and all the fancy goblin stuff on the pitch at once, just to make sure I tried everything. And I think I leaped with the pogo. I think that was the only thing I didn't do.
That's fine. Leaping's easy.
He was knocked out pretty quickly. So it's 11s. You get 1150 to build your team, and then you get a crap load of extra skills that you can put on people.
Crap load of skills. I was looking at the pack. There's a lot.
Yeah. So even not buying skills in my 1150, because my 1150 pretty much was bang on what I needed for the team. Being a stunty tier 3 team, I'm getting 15 points that I can spend. And I could spend that on skills. 15 primary skills if I wanted to. The only stipulation is that you have to spend at least 5 points on one player.
I love this.
Yes.
And I've been talking to a couple of people that kind of frequent these tournaments and have played a bunch, and this is the rule that makes it. So one of your regular everyday players has to have like 5 of these points spent on him at least. So you basically get one superstar. One of your guys gets all of the skills he could ever possibly want, and such a cool idea about building this team around, okay, what am I going to have super player going to do?
Mm-hmm. Which is totally not what I did.
No, of course it's not.
So I thought, well, I've got to spend 5 points on somebody. So it's 1 point for a primary, 2 points for a secondary. You can get stat upgrades for various points as well. But it was also 3 points to take away a nega trade.
I see what you've done here.
So both of my trolls have block and are not stupid. There's 5 points
super
on each
trolls.
of them. Yeah. They are smart. SMART. So I've got 11 players. I've got 2 trolls with block and no stupid. I've got the chainsaw, I've got the bomber, I've got the pogo, I've got the doom diver. I've put dodge on the doom diver and the chainsaw because they are the only 2 goblins that don't have dodge. So now I don't have to worry. I'm just like, okay, it's a goblin, I've got dodge. I don't have to worry about which one it is or... and then the doom diver I spent the last couple of extra bits on. I gave him sprint and sidestep. So if I vaguely entertain the idea of picking up the ball at any point during this tournament, then he should be the guy that I give it to.
Agreed. If only he had catch.
Nah, screw that. So I'm just going to throw him.
Yeah, but you have to get in the ball first.
Nah, you can pick it up. Don't be lazy, Doom Diver. So the whole idea behind this team, and it's 11s. I am not going to win. I am going for fun. Half the reason I'm taking goblins. So you came up with a great idea. And
I think it's a great idea. It amuses me to no end.
Oh, it amuses me, which is why
I
I'm
don't
doing
have to
it.
play it.
No, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be hilarious. And, the first half is going to look drastically different to the second half of every single game. So what I have is I have the Fanatic. Fanatic? That's the right one.
Ball and chain.
Ball and chain. I've given him Mighty Blow because he doesn't have Mighty Blow. And then I've got Fungus.
Is the ball and chain action a block action?
It gives it. I mean,
You
other
roll
people.
dice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Fungus Saloon is a
Goblin
star player goblin with a ball and chain. Pretty much the only difference between him and a normal ball and chain is that he does already have Mighty Blow. And he can, once per activation, he can re-roll the direction he goes in.
Glorious.
Which is pretty handy. So, there's 2 goblins with balls and chains.
There's no more goblins with balls and chains.
There's no more goblins with balls and chains.
Aw, that's sad.
It is sad. But what if there was a rat ogre with a ball and chain? So, Creek. Creek is a rat ogre with a ball and chain, and he is huge and menacing looking, and he's armored 10, which is unusual for rat ogre. Positive is 10.
But we're still talking a strength 5, move 6, prehensile tail, ball and chain swinging fucking rat ogre.
Yeah, so the ball and chain makes him strength 7. He's got Mighty Blow. His special ability is the first time in a match that he would be sent off for having a secret weapon. He does not get sent off.
This is perfection.
Yes. So the whole point of this team is to, hopefully, what I want to do is win the kickoff, receive the ball, and then just have 3 ball and chains just go haywire until something happens.
But we have a line of scrimmage that could be 3 balls and chains.
Exactly.
And 2 trolls.
Yep. We don't need the balls and chains standing next to them to do stuff. So it's just silliness. It is just silliness. So I've got 2 rerolls I managed to fit in there as well.
It's not enough. I love it.
I know, right? But I kept on having to remind myself throughout the half with Ant that I had rerolls because I'm not used to it. So 2 rerolls might be 2 more than I actually use all tournament. We'll wait and see. And I've got 2 bribes. So 2 bribes, 5 secret weapons.
But Craig doesn't get sent off the first time.
Yeah, exactly. So
that's basically a free bribe. So you've got 3 bribes.
Yeah. Technically, yes, 3 bribes. And I am, bribery and corruption team, so I get to re-roll that first one that's argued the call, which I did with Ant, and it was another one.
I would have forgotten about that for sure.
I did. Ant remembered. Which is why we were playing.
It's so much better at this game.
Yeah, Sunday, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be sitting there in a room with, many, many other 11s players who are so much better at this game than I am. And hopefully I don't annoy the first 1 or 2 opponents I have, but because I'm sure by round 3 or 4 I'll be playing on the bottom table, and that'll be efficient.
But there's also this real opportunity. So in that first 1 or 2 rounds, you play someone who's showed up and they're going to win this tournament. They're very committed. They've been training, and you just ball and chain their superstar and somebody else off the pitch in the first drive and giggle as you dash their serious Blood Bowl player hopes. This is joyful. I'm excited.
Look, I'm hoping it's going to be a lot of fun. Either way, it's going to be a lot of fun for me. I'm hoping it'll be a lot of fun for my opponents as well. But
secondary,
sorry, it wasn't intended. Updates after it happens.
Glorious. I'm very excited to hear how this goes.
What about yourself? Anything on the horizon?
Hopefully Says the guy who hasn't officially got a leave pass. However, as we've kind of chatted about, I've got a couple of old gaming buddies that have been pumping some games pretty hard, and one of those games is Warmaster, so the 15mm scale Warhammer Fantasy, and itty bitty one. So there is a tournament on the 8th of March called War. It is really fucking close.
Yeah.
Look at that. That might get me points. This is good. It's called WarpMaster. So WARP. So it is a 1-day 1,500 point Warmaster event. They've got a little bit of a Warpstone, Skaven-y, skittery kind of theme going, which is fun. There's a few little tweaks and stuff and special rules they've chucked in the pack to make it super fun. So yeah, there's some cool stuff. It is 1.5, so 1,500 point Warmaster, which is sort of a full, big, giant, full-scale game is kind of 2,000 points, so it is a little bit smaller, which makes it a little bit more accessible for those of us who have no fucking idea what we're playing. But the other fun idea here is, so the way you build a roster in Warmaster is for every 1,000 points, there's kind of a requirement to take certain units. You have to take 3 of these units in every 1,000 points. And then the other half of it is you can only take 1 of these or 2 of these in every 1,000 points. And that is a hard, so up to 1,000 points, you must take your minimum, whatever, and you can only take your maximums. And then 2,000 points is the next line in the sand. So it's a pretty hard kind of thing. But what they've actually said is it's a 1.5 thousand list with the 1k minimums, but the 2k maximums. So what that means is you can take, it's less of a core tax effectively, and you can take a couple of extra toys where you might have only been able to take 1 big thing. Now you could cram 2 in, which means you have to paint a little bit less over here. Yeah, it's a fun way to get some more toys on the table, is the moral of the story.
As a quick mental maths, say, so the army that you're wanting to take, if you get a leave pass, is...
So I am... No. This is well and truly planned out. So I am taking a demon army, is the plan. Some of it's even painted. Just really important to this. So if and he says I should have done this a lot faster before this, but effectively the way it plays out is you have to take in 1,000 points, you've got to take 3 units of demon hordes, your core infantry.
Okay, and how much are they worth each?
They are things I should fucking know that I have no idea about. I just used the thing that said this is how much stuff costs. That chat has too much on me to find.
That's all right. So I'm figuring that, essentially, your 1,500 point army is realistically like a 2,000 point army without the second half.
Without the other stuff, yeah. So as an example, you need to take 3 demon hordes as your core tube. Each one of those is 75 points.
Okay, so 225.
Yeah. So, whereas, as an example, a unit of cavalry is 110. One of the big units of beasties is 200 points. But you can only take 1 of those beastie units in 1,000 points. I can cram 2 of those in and take some of that core out, just that kind of stuff to allow for it. So it puts some more toys on the table. It still keeps the games small enough to be manageable. There's not too many units on the table. It doesn't get, bigger again. It's a kind of a nice balance between a intro game, a demo game at 1,000 points, and a game that's going to break people's brains.
Excellent.
So, that's down in Flemington at the Warplings Wargaming Club, at the church there. And I have to do, so first of all, obviously Warplanes for putting it on. But Seji, who is TOing this one, has also started a YouTube channel doing really cool. It's WarMaster. It's called WarFaster Revolutions. What he's doing is he's filming the games he's playing, and then putting them back on like 2-speed, 3-speed, whatever, I don't know. Mm-hmm. So it's like a 20-minute episode and commentating over the top.
Okay, yep.
It's been really useful for me to get a view of how the game is played, and B, some of the basic ideas and tactics, because you'll go, you'll see what we did here is this is why, and this is what they were thinking when they're doing here, or they're trying to decide, do they do this or that? You get a little bit of that in it. And it's, as I said, you get to watch the whole game, but in that sort of 15, 20-minute episode with all of that stuff on it. So that's been a really good little watch for me, just to try and get up to speed with the game, because I have no fucking idea what I'm doing, which is the other challenge.
Are you going to try and get any sort of practice games in, or are you just going to go screw it?
I am going to at least... Yeah. Thanks, Brad. I am going to look. I need to get at least a demo game in. Mm-hmm. The good news here is the actual army lists aren't hugely different. So there are some army-wide special rules that might be different. There's a few different, but you can basically fit all of the army stuff on a page in the rulebook.
Excellent.
So it's not bonkers. And then there's a second page that has the spells that they can use. It is not over the top ridiculous. Mm-hmm. So I'm working on the assumption that if I can get the basic core mechanics down and try and remember the army rules, and the only one that's really important is the demonic instability, because the little guys die when they get reclaimed by the warp when they start taking wounds.
Yep.
As long as I don't forget that, feels like she's apples. And look, I think we constantly talk about running tournaments that are good for new players and welcoming to new players. And I like, let's test that out. Let's see how welcoming to new players and how good for new players. And honestly, like Sergi and Pip and the guys running it have run a lot of tournaments. They know what they're doing. It won't be a thing, and it's a pretty young community. Mm-hmm. So I think there's going to be quite a few new people kind of going, yeah, I'm interested. I'm going to give it a go. And this is a great way to play a bunch of games and actually lock the rules a little bit. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of the aim for the day. So
it sounds ideal.
Yeah, it should be fun. It's a good crowd. So
with your Demon's Army, are you taking multiple gods? Or no,
I have a Tzeentch demon army that is partly painted, and the rest is staring at me very white at the moment. No, there is, and there's
need color on Tzeentch.
It's fine. On 15mm, contrast paints are a wonderful thing. Mm-hmm. I will say, I am probably doing too much on brand. But I've got like 2 whole weeks. I actually created a list of things I would need to paint.
Mm-hmm. That's a good start. That's what I did with my Goblin team.
This is very much a trying to keep me on track kind of deal. And the challenge is, right, so the way this plays out is, for the infantry as an example, an infantry unit is 3 bases. Mm-hmm. Of dudes, right? Yep. So 3 little 20mm by 40mm bases. Mm-hmm. On each base, generally speaking, is 2 little stands or strips of models, because they're all joined together because they're tiny, right?
Yep.
So you've got 3 bases, you've got 2 little stands on each base, so you've got 6 little stands of models per unit. Mm-hmm. And if you stick them on the base and try and paint them, it doesn't work because the brush doesn't get in between, and you can actually see, like, it's fucking painful. So there's a lot of stuff currently blue tacked to the caps of spray cans.
Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm.
It turns out I had a lot of them. But like, I need to paint 24 stands of demon hordes.
And how many have you done?
No, that's 24 remaining.
24 remaining. How many have you done?
Yeah.
3?
2, 4, 6, 8 or 9.
So you're a third of the way there.
Yeah, heaps. I've done other stuff as well. It's fine. But yeah, so it's one of those that I actually looked at this list and went, "Oh, those numbers are pretty big."
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. We'll see how we go. But now I've finished my Painter Story / Agni Paint comp entry. My Blood Bowl League team is practically done. Yeah, I can focus.
You got the time. And that was your goal at the start of the year, was to focus on something. And
yeah. So we have a focus. It's good.
Excellent. Well, that's just a couple of the events that are happening anytime soon, if not now. So what I thought we'd do is take a quick break and then go into our usual segment. Ongoing
I love it.
segment.
I like the fact that we're saying it's a usual segment. Like, we have usual segments, and this isn't like the second time.
No. Second.
So we're actually putting a break in now. Like, are we being those people where we're organised and putting breaks in? And
I don't know. I'm just telling you so that you know where to stick the theme song, because you've got a theme song.
You mean this one?
How fucking professional are you? I was not expecting that at all. I thought you'd have to stop the cast and, jam it in like a no, I wasn't going to say that.
You were, but then you realised
coming, and I was like, even on
put them back.
There's a line I want to not cross, and that was over it. Anyway, this or that, my turn this time. Yeah, here we go. So, Friends or Seinfeld?
I mean, is that a question? Like,
that is a question.
Oh, I mean, it's not a hard one. I never got Seinfeld.
All right, I'm with you there.
Yeah. So, and to be really clear, there are so many Seinfeld references and quotes and things I have found have just infected.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just an age demographic type thing. It existed, it was, and it was pretty all-consuming. But if I was actually going to watch something, I'm absolutely not turning off Friends, where I will turn off Seinfeld.
Yeah. No, all right. I'm with you on that one. We agree on one. Excellent. Chalk it up for a win. Yeah. I actually got rid of Foxtel this many years ago, before I moved down to Geelong, but I got rid of Foxtel because the only thing I was watching was Friends on repeat. All I found myself watching was Friends. I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I spending all this money? But yeah, no, Seinfeld, I've never fully understood. I get the references, I get the humor. I just don't like the characters.
And I think that is the plan of, like, I don't actually think that those characters were designed to be overly likable. There's something ultimately self-deprecating, whereas I feel like the characters in Friends were designed to be ones that you could sympathize with. They were dopey and they were quirky and they were ridiculous, but it was kind of adorable, whereas the Seinfeld equivalent was actually annoying, and that's what was funny about it.
It felt to me like you wanted people in your life that were friendly rather than Seinfeldly.
Yeah, there are absolutely people that I would not want in my life from the Seinfeld cast, and I don't have the same qualms around. Again, they're not perfect people by any stretch of the imagination, but Yeah, no, it's definitely it is just more a charismatic thing. That being, as I say, like I find myself quoting Seinfeld, then realizing I've quoted Seinfeld and going, "Oh, how did I know this? Where did this come from? Am I that person?"
Hmm.
Because it was such a huge part of just pop culture at the time. There was no escape.
No.
But
And nobody seemed to bat an eyelid when he was going out with like a 17-year-old. Yeah. Anyway, that's enough for that.
yeah. So what's the deal with toothpaste? No, that is not a comedy form. Like,
No, never got it. But we will stick the question up in Discord, I suppose, and we will judge people accordingly.
I'm waiting to see how we are judged.
We're not going to listen to it anyway, are we?
I mean, again, if we did, oh my god, like, I can't afford the therapy for it, bro.
No. All right, one last event I want to talk about. Not too much to say on this one, apart from the fact that it is, again, one of ours. Thoughtless Bowl.
It is a bowl. It is Thoughtless.
It is a bowl. It is going to be the 6th of Thoughtless Bowls. And it's been a couple of months since we ran Why So Serious 3, so it's about time we did another one. So let's lock it in. 21st of June, 2025, Thoughtless Bowl 6, a Sevens Blood Bowl tournament.
It's about all you need to know.
That's all we need. Yeah. Done and dusted. We will stick it up on Facebook. We will, tickets will be same price and set to the same place. We'll put up a players pack when we get around to it, but it is just going to be stock standard.
Venue's in the same spot.
Yeah, venue's the same one that got locked in like 5 minutes before we started recording tonight. Mainly because I forgot to do it earlier.
Hey, if it works, but yeah, no, that's a thing. You should go. It'll be good. It'll be Blood Bowl. Okay, with Blood Bowl, it's a good day.
We'll have fun. Crazy shenanigans, Seven style. It's always fun. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
They are all the things I can think of right now. There is other things going on, but none of them are podcastable, which makes my ramblings about them really good content. I will say, and I do just have to, because we're talking about Blood Bowl things and 7 things, we are into round 2 of the current league, and it just warms the cockles of my heart to be back doing the thing.
And we're getting quite a bit of interest. We have 20 players. If you want in, tell me right now. So I'm going to really have to.
We're going to have to lock it down after this. Like,
I have to redo the whole format again, but that's okay. Things happen. 20 players, and it's just, it's good to be back.
So, if you are in the Geelong area, if you do want to play some regular Blood Bowl 7s against the most excellent of humans and us, it is 1 game a fortnight. That is the commitment. We are playing most Tuesdays at Seaview, and if you can't make it, work some shit out with your opponent. That is it. There will be about 7-ish rounds, and then we'll do finals. We'll work out the details later. That's not so important. Everything is via tour play, so it is vaguely organised, and Brett has to do all the admin, so that's wonderful. It is $5 via PayPal to this man. There's details in the Discord, but that is literally everything I think you could possibly need to know. I will say, league-wise, it is 7s, but it is 7s without players being drafted and with star player points. That's probably an important distinction. And frankly,
so you can
that's
level
better.
them up as you like, but it's really just shits and giggles games.
Fucking chilled.
We have there's no power gamers. It's just people who, it's 7s. You can't really power game. Just people who want to play and have fun playing and give you a good, fun, enjoyable game. And if you don't know what Blood Bowl is, we'll teach you as we play.
And that is also happening. We've got people that are pretty new to the game. They might have had a demo beforehand and then went, yeah, no, this is cool.
Mm-hmm.
And they've signed up, and we're just showing them how the game works as we go. And they're, again, it is that level of competitiveness.
Yes.
And that level is none. There is prizes for first and second, and first stunty and second stunty, and most kills?
Most casualties I'm going with. Most casualties and second most casualties. So just a couple of random things to make it a bit more interesting, and make the grand final actually mean something.
But also, it's one big old division, so you can't even get relegated.
Yep, there's no relegation this time. We'll talk about the next season. The only thing I wanted to mention was something I came across today, and.
Stop showing me your crusty socks. Anyway.
Across, not in.
Why are the pages stuck together?
Speaking of pages, Fighting Fantasy. Did you ever read those books?
Why does that ring a bell?
Created by Steve Jackson and Ian Livingston, who are the guys who started Games Workshop. Mm-hmm. And they basically choose your own adventures with dice on the pages, and it was like D&D choose your own adventure type thing. They are like shitloads old. Like, I was reading them as a kid, right?
I was about to say, yeah, these things are like etched on stone tablets.
Yeah, pretty much. And they're absolutely, expensive as all hell to get these days. Unless they just announced or started a Kickstarter for the first 5 books being reprinted. So if you are vaguely interested in stuff that we talk about, you may or may not have very fond memories of this. So I had a quick look and then jumped straight on, because it's Warlock of Firetop Mountain, Deathtrap Dungeon, City of Thieves, Citadel of Chaos, and Forest of Doom, which are all like classic ones. And yeah, just thought I'd mention it just in case somebody was eager like I was and did not know and hasn't seen the same ad on the socials that I saw this morning. But yeah, I jumped on board.
They know how to get you right in the nostalgia.
Oh man, I had all of those as a kid, and I loved them. And the character sheets in the front were like so many bits of pencil scribbled out and rubbed out and then scribbled again, and
little tears in the paper where you've gone over it too many times. And
exactly. All right, that will do us for today. Like I said, give us a follow. Spotify, Podbean, Twitch, all of those. Hit the subscribe button or whatever it is on the platform of choice that you're listening to. Doesn't mean you have to listen to us, but it does put it in that algorithm type thing. If I want to sound professional and know what I'm...
Teach the robots we're good.
Yeah. I mean, we're never going to, so you have to do it.
If they listen to the content, they will find out. So don't let them. Just let's overwhelm them with likes and subscribes and bells and all those things.
Yeah. And yeah, as always, thank you very much to our Patreons. They help us run these sort of paint events and things like that we're doing. So thank you very much. If you want to jump on board, it's only a couple of bucks, whatever you want to give. We don't expect anything. We're not worth anything. So we definitely don't expect anything. But if you want to, we'll shout you out. And we will always shout out our Thoughtless Patreons. Alice, Archie, Clinton, Craig, Gertzie, Jared, Kingsley, and Yuri. Thank you very much, guys. You're all nuts.
You knew that, though.
Yeah. As are you, dear listener, if you've made it this far. Later.
Gotcha. Scotty.